Hello, you're kicking off the Sunday's edition of Qpvn English News Bulletin. You're with Milinchi and the deadlines. Returning to the roots, heading for the future program organized. Third ASEAN multilateral naval exercise opens. Sacred flag saluting ceremony. On August 16 in Tuyên Quang, on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the historic Tân Trào National Congress, August 16, 1945, and in anticipation of the 80th anniversary of Vietnam's first general election to elect the National Assembly January 6, 1946, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn attended the program, Returning to the Roots, Heading for the Future, organized by the Standing Committee of the National Assembly. As part of the program, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn and the National Assembly delegation offered incense and flowers in tribute to President Ho Chi Minh at his monument in Tân Trào, Nanu Hut, the Tân Trào Communal House, and the memorial site honoring revolutionary pioneers. These acts commemorated the immense contributions of President Ho Chi Minh and the nation's revolutionary forerunners to the party and the country's historic cause. The delegation also visited the historical site of the National Assembly Standing Committee and attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony to inaugurate the newly restored Memorial House of President Tôn Đức Thắng. In his keynote address at the program, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn emphasized Tuyên Quang's deep-rooted revolutionary, cultural, and historical significance. He noted the province's strategic importance and its lasting legacy as the base of operations for President Ho Chi Minh, the party's Central Committee, the National Assembly, the government, the Vietnam Fatherland Front, and various central bodies during the Resistance War. Later that day, the delegation visited a special exhibition marking 80 years of the National Assembly. After more than 2 months of intensive training, on August 16, the full rehearsal for the military parade marking the 80th anniversary of the August Revolution and National Day took place in a solemn and majestic atmosphere. General Phan Văn Giang, Minister of National Defense, chaired the rehearsal inspection along with other senior officials. In stirring music, nearly 16,000 participants marched in display formations, displaying the order, precision, and power of the People's Armed Forces. Every movement was the result of thousands of hours of rigorous training and determination. Each step symbolized the connection between past, present, and future, carrying with it the nation's pride and aspiration to rise higher. Given the importance of this celebration, military and public security units have spent months organizing strict, concentrated training for all parade formations. This year's parade carries special significance. For the first time in 40 years, formations of military equipment and specialized police vehicles will pass through historic Ba Square. Their presence underlines the continuous growth in strength and modernization of the armed forces over 8 decades under the party's wise leadership. He emphasized that the 80th anniversary of the August Revolution and the founding of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, now the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, is a historic political milestone.
Tôi vẫn nhớ cách đây 40 năm tôi cũng như các đồng chí được bước trên quảng trường
I still remember 4 years ago marching across Ba Square myself. Time cannot return, but the memories remain. I hope we will bring back that spirit, that beauty, and that strength on this national day.
Vẻ đẹp này, những sức mạnh này trong ngày Quốc khánh này.
He urged the Parade Steering Committee to continue scientific discipline training, ensure absolute safety, and strengthen the physical readiness of our officers and soldiers in the final 2 weeks before the celebration. With a strong sense of duty, officers and soldiers continue to stand by people in remote flood-affected areas of Nghệ An and Sơn La, working hand-in-hand with local authorities and organizations to repair and rebuild homes so that families can quickly stabilize their life. In Nhôn Mai Kamin, Nghệ An, where a historic flash flood swept away nearly 500 houses, Portuguese have remained on the ground to support affected households. Our officers are working non-stop, 5 times harder than usual, despite difficult conditions. Support has also come from across the country. Doctors and staff from Hanoi's Andrology and Fertility Hospital provided aid to 48 of the hardest hit households, each receiving over $200 and donated gifts to the border gas station. Together with Hai Hoa Study Promotion Fund, they contributed a total of nearly $11,000 to Nhôn Mai residents. These gifts might be modest, but they represent our heartfelt support. We hope they help people overcome immediate difficulties and rebuild better lives. I'm grateful to the border gas station for connecting us with hospital. This support will help me repair my house. In Sala province, under the scorching sun, hundreds of officers and militiamen from the Provincial Military Command at Division 316 and the Military Region 2 are crossing rivers and forests to deliver materials and rebuild homes in severely affected communes. We are determined to complete housing construction for local people before September 30th, 2025, to help them stabilize their lives and ensure social order. In these borderland villages scarred by floods, the soldiers' green uniforms remain a steadfast source of comfort and strength for the people. On August 16, Coast Guard Region 4 Command, in coordination with ASEAN provincial authorities, organized a legal awareness program on combating illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing. The event held at Tất Cậu fishing port in Bình An Kamin gathered more than 400 participants. The highlight was a mock trial offering a vivid, engaging approach, encouraging fishermen to strictly comply with the law, avoiding violations in foreign waters and the use of banned fishing gear. Within the program, essential supplies were presented to policy beneficiary families and disadvantaged fishermen, while national flags, leaflets, education materials, and first aid kits were widely distributed, aiming to enhance fishermen's understanding of fishing boundaries, regulations on installing vessel monitoring systems, and accessory legal procedures for offshore operations. On August 16, the third ASEAN multilateral naval exercise, or AMNIC 3 for short, officially opened in Penang, Malaysia. Taking place from August 15th to the 22nd, AMNIC 3 features the participation of 10 naval vessels, 3 helicopters and 1 high-speed craft, with a total strength of more than 1,200 personnel. A highlight of the program is the ASEAN Naval Fleet Review. The Vietnam People's Navy sent Brigade 016 Quang Trung and a working delegation to drive the exercise. Another theme, friendship and cooperation in action. AMNIC 3 emphasized the need for ASEAN navies to work toward a shared goal of maintaining peace and stability in the region. Coming up next, sacred flag saluting ceremony. Vietnam emerges as one of the most dynamic economies in the region. On August 16, the solemn flag saluting ceremony themed I Love My Homeland took place in Hanoi and more than 30,000 locations nationwide. Organized with the Central Committee of the Vietnam Youth Federation, the activity is part of a series of programs celebrating the 80th anniversary of the August Revolution and the National Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, September 2, 1945-2025. This September 2nd marks the 80th anniversary of the historic moment when the independence of Vietnam was declared at Ba Đình Square, giving birth to the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. 80 years later, on the morning of August 16, a solemn atmosphere, the flag saluting ceremony was held. At that moment, young people lived to the fullest with patriotism and aspiration to rise in the new era. Our forefathers sacrificed bravely for the country's independence. Today, we, the future of the country, are responsible for studying harder, to learn more and contribute to building a more prosperous and beautiful Vietnam. This event has allowed us to spread and convey a positive message of patriotism to the younger generation. We will continue to uphold the pioneering spirit of Vietnamese youth with innovation, creativity, and solidarity as we stride into a new era. Present in Vietnam this time, when the entire country is joyfully looking back at all these glorious milestones of the history, many international visitors have been impressed by the country's proud traditions, patriotism, and strong sense of solidarity. I'm deeply impressed by how hospitable, united, and patriotic the Vietnamese people are. I see that the children are very happy to be part of such celebrations. That is something truly special. Moreover, learning about Vietnam's history, I greatly admire the resilience of the Vietnamese people in their struggle for independence and freedom. To mark the International Youth Day on August 16, the UN Thematic Group on Youth and Adolescents in Vietnam organized the local Youth Initiatives Fest for Sustainable Development Goals, featuring nearly 30 youth-led initiatives from across the country. Under the theme, Local Youth Act for Global Sustainable Development Goals and Beyond, the event highlighted the pivotal role of young people in realizing global SDGs in the local context. The theme reaffirmed that youth are not merely beneficiaries of development, but also active agents of change, innovation, and leadership. At the event, participants explored exhibition booths, engaged in creative activities, and connected with organizations promoting sustainable innovation, inclusive education, climate action, and social justice. On this occasion, Mr. Jonathan Baker, UNESCO representative to Vietnam, officially announced the launch of applications for the UN Youth Advisory Group in Vietnam that ensures young people's active participation in shaping the UN's work in the country. Recently, in a press briefing with news agency, Chief Representative of the JICA office in Vietnam, Yobayashi Yoshike, expressed deep impression of the country's socio-economic development. From a war-torn economy, Vietnam has risen to become one of the most dynamic growth stories in the region, steadily realizing its aspiration for industrialization, modernization, and deeper integration into the global economy. Yoshike noted that JICA is honored to support Vietnam throughout this journey with a focus on people-centered development, the promotion of human security and quality growth. He emphasized that JICA's current priorities are closely aligned with Vietnam's 4 pillars of reform, including science and technology, international integration, private sector development, and institutional building for the ultimate goal of making Vietnam a developed and high-income country by 2045. It is the end of the English News Bulletin today. You're watching news again at Qpvn.vn. For the goodbye and see you next time.